Coming up tonight on YCN News, local election results from Hanover, New London, and in Newport, a win for an incumbent select board member. Plus, Newport, New Hampshire residents turned down a study on how to best use the airport in that town. And Mike Pizzone will take a look at some local baseball action from Bellows Falls. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN News, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Laura James. Welcome to YCN News. Well, Newport, New Hampshire residents turned down a study of how best to use its municipal airport in the years ahead. The article by petition called for the select board to sell, lease, or retain the town's airport, also known as Parlin Field. Now, voter turnout at Tuesday's election was light, about 13% of the town's checklist, or 489 voters out of 3,671. That according to the Eagle Times. Now, the $9.5 million town budget did pass. By a 2-to-1 margin, incumbent Selectman Todd Fratzel defeated challenger Jay Clark for a 3-year term on that panel. The vote tally was 307 for Fratzel, 149 for Clark. Now, as was the case in Newport, in New London, New Hampshire, an incumbent select board member won another 3-year term on that board. Janet Kidder defeated John Wilson in that race, 561 to 436. In the only other contested race, 4 residents sought 3 open seats on the Tracy Memorial Trustee Panel. The terms are all 3 years long, and the 3 top vote getters include Wendy Dumays with 661 votes, Gordon Twilliger, 514 votes, and Matthew Hubbard, who received 511 votes. Voter turnout yesterday was 27%. 1,003 ballots were cast, including by 90 residents who voted by absentee ballot. Town meeting will be held tonight. It's taking place at the OCIC, the Old Middle School in New London. YCN News will bring you the results tomorrow. Turning to the Upper Valley now, there were no contested races in Hanover, New Hampshire. Elected for a 3-year term as select board member are Nancy Carter and Joanna Whitcomb. Carter garnered 970 votes, while 988 residents cast ballots for Whitcomb. In all of yesterday's elections, 1,199 residents registered to vote, and they all did so. Well, this next story mixes fun and learning. The annual Family Science Night is coming up, scheduled for 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, June 3rd. All activities will be held at the Claremont campus of River Valley Community College. That's off of Route 120. The event is open to all area families in New Hampshire and Vermont. Pre-registration is required. Science, mathematics, and robotics will be introduced in interesting ways at Science Night. Family Science Night is sponsored by several organizations, including the University of New Hampshire's Cooperative Extension, as well as the 4-H and the college. Activities for all ages will be available, and to pre-register for the event, you can call Becky Nelson at Sullivan County Cooperative Extension at 603-863-9200. Additional contact information is shown on the screen, too. It'll help planners know the names and ages of all children and adults who wish to participate. Coming up on YCN News, U.S. Senators mark National Police Week, and the Women Who Make a Difference luncheon honors Central New Hampshire residents. That's all coming up when YCN News continues.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Laura James. Municipal police departments across the nation continue to be in the news. Now a bill introduced by New Hampshire U.S. Senator Kelly Ayotte and other lawmakers aimed to help injured and fallen police officers. The bill has bipartisan support from Republicans Ayotte, Ohio's Rob Portman, and Democrats Chris Coons of Delaware and Gary Peters of Michigan. Its goal is to close an unintended loophole in the Public Safety Officers Benefits Program so that the families of fallen and permanently disabled officers receive the financial benefits and services earned by the respective police officer. The New Hampshire congressional delegation agrees more time should be allowed for the public to comment on the proposed Northern Pass utility project. The delegates, including Senators Jean Shaheen and Kelly Ayotte and Congresswoman Annie Kuster, say 90 days is needed for public input, not 60 days. The Northern Pass project involves setting in place a 187-mile electric transmission line in areas of New England, including New Hampshire. The cost to implement this plan, which aims to bring electric power from Canada's hydroelectric power plants to New England, is estimated at $1.4 billion. A federal study of the project is underway. The draft environmental impact statement, on which the public is invited to comment, is expected to be released this summer. Today was the 16th annual Women Who Make a Difference Awards, presented at a noon luncheon in Wheeler Hall of Colby-Surrey College in New London, New Hampshire. Every year, Women Who Make a Difference recognizes an organization and individuals that exemplify giving above and beyond. The afternoon started with Kearsarge, New London 4th grade chorus, singing for the sold-out house, followed by the introduction of the new Lake Sunapee Region VNA President and CEO Jim Culhane. Before the awards, guest speaker Carolyn Moob inspired the group with a review of her work bringing clean water to poor and distressed areas. Now, the first award given was for an organization.
They do it with generosity and service and spirit, and they report what makes this place the great place it is to live, work, and play. So it is with great pleasure that I would like to call up Elizabeth Durazio, who is, we can't have a man accept the award. We've learned that in 16 years. And this is the Organization Award for Above and Beyond.
The second category was for a high school woman.
Her senior project is Everyone Deserves a Gnome. Kathy has some things to pass out about that because there's an event on June 6th at Whipple Hall that she is doing. And all of the proceeds go to the Upper Valley Haven in an effort to fight homelessness. What I've briefly shared with you is just a snapshot of what this young lady has done in the time that she's been a high school student. And little did I know that such a community treasure lived just down the street from me. So, without further ado, via technology, Ariana Stokes will be here, and her mother, Janice, is here to accept the awards.
By the way, if you're interested, Ariana is displaying her work on June 6th at Whipple Hall from 1 to 5 p.m. in New London, selling gnomes to raise money to help the homeless. And the most prestigious award of the day was for the woman who makes a difference for 2015.
Lending her expertise to Dartmouth-Hitchcock Hospital and fighting cancer alongside the Relay for Life. These are all the activities she does in her spare time. When is this, 3 a.m.? If we actually did have a more than 24-hour day, I could stand here forever going on about the virtues and accomplishments of this year's winner. And if you haven't guessed who it is by now, we are all proud to present this year's 16th Annual Women Who Make a Difference Award to Janice Cundy.
And as it just happened, it was Janice's birthday today, which the whole crowd acknowledged.
Happy birthday, dear Janice. Happy birthday to you.
The funds that are raised for this luncheon go to the Lake Sunapee Region VNA's Pediatric Care Program. Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice provides area children and families with home care and hospice services when they're needed. Coming up on YCN News, Lynn Solomon's here. She has a conversation with Sarah Christie for a discussion of family law. All when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. It was a cool one out there today, but those skies did finally clear up and we should be in for nothing but sun over the next couple of days. Skies will remain clear tonight, but a low of 34 degrees could create areas of patchy frost overnight and in the early morning hours. Things will warm up tomorrow with bright sunny skies and a high of 69 degrees during the day, before dropping to about 39 later in the evening. The sun will be back out Friday with temperatures maxing out at around 70 degrees, though there's a 40% chance of showers Friday evening with a low of 50. Now let's take a look at our community calendar to see what's happening in the area. The The Ladies Auxiliary of the Croydon Fire Department will host its weekly bingo night tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. at the Claremont Senior Center off Maple Avenue. The event is open to anyone ages 18 or older. The Upper Valley Mac users group will meet tomorrow from 5 to 6 p.m. at WinCycle Computers on Main Street in Windsor, Vermont. Anyone interested in Apple products is welcome to attend. Visit the website on the screen for more information. A blood drive for the American Red Cross will be held Friday from 12:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the American Legion building on Court Street in Windsor, Vermont. Walk-ins are welcome, or you can visit redcrossblood.org to make an appointment. The Bellows Falls baseball team had already accomplished a lot heading into yesterday's showdown with non-divisional Green Mountain, but one thing they hadn't yet accomplished was a shutout. That all changed yesterday as a dominant performance on the mound from Kobe Howe and some solid hitting throughout the team's lineup helped lift the Terriers to a 15-0 six-inning victory over Green Mountain via Vermont's mercy rule. Howe went the distance on his home mound, allowing just 4 base runners on 4 hits while striking out 5. Offensively, Bellows Falls was just as sharp, crossing the plate twice in the second inning and 4 times in the third with help from this 2-run single by Brady Illingworth to take a commanding 6-0 lead. Coach Bob Lockerby's team didn't score again until the 6th, but it was worth the wait as the Terriers hammered out 9 more runs in the inning to put an early end to the contest and clinch a 4th straight victory. Liam Hackett started his team's rally with this leadoff double before Illingsworth's single moments later plated Hackett to make it a 7-run game. Zach Streeter made it 10-0 later in the inning with this RBI single, and Reed Corson drove in his team's 11th run with this single up the middle. I spoke with Howe after the game, who said that having all that run support makes his job on the mound a whole lot easier.
It's very nice. It's good to get the bats going and get them off our shoulders. We hit the ball pretty well today. Ethan and I got the curveball working pretty good, and then we had the changeup to complement that too, so we had all 3 pitches working good today. He calls the whole game, and he usually does a very great job of that, so I never shake him off.
I also got the chance to speak with Bellows Falls baseball coach Bob Lockerby, who touched on Howe's growth as a pitcher as the season has progressed.
His confidence has just grown and grown as this season has gone on, and he wants the ball. He wants to be on the mound to pitch. It doesn't matter who we're playing. He's been a lot more aggressive of pounding the strike zone, and has learned to throw 2 pitches for strikes. And that, you know, I think at the high school level, if you could throw 2 pitches for strikes, you got a good chance. The main thing was for the kids to understand that it isn't really so much the record that you have during the course of the season, it's getting better at the game during the course of the season, so that when the playoffs hit, hopefully you're playing your best baseball. Everybody's going to make the playoffs. You know, you want to play home, obviously. It'd be nice to play home, but for me, it's just seeing a team progress and get better and doing the little things correct.
Bellows Falls is now 7-3 on the season and will host Springfield under the lights tomorrow at 7 p.m. Ben Robinson surrendered just 1 run while striking out 9 to help lead the Sunapee baseball team past Epping yesterday. Nick Ducharme led the Lakers with 3 RBI on a pair of hits, followed by Cole Cruz with 2 hits and Cade Robinson with 1 hit and 2 runs scored. Sunapee is now 7-3 and will play in its 3rd game in as many days today when it hosts Moultonborough. Chelsea Wilder drove in 4 runs with help from a 3-run homer to help lead the Bellows Falls softball team to a hard-fought win over Green Mountain yesterday. Brooke James drove in 3 runs for the Terriers on a trio of hits, while Mackenzie Crawford and Paxton Santorelli also finished with 3 hits apiece. Bellows Falls is now 8-2 and will be back in action tomorrow when it hosts Black River. The Kearsarge girls lacrosse team benefited from goals from 9 different sources yesterday to earn a convincing victory over Merrimack Valley in a 3rd straight win. Anna Stowell and Jackie DeAngelis each netted 3 goals for the Cougars, followed by Eleanor and Leslie Angus with 2 apiece. Kearsarge is now 6-2 and will try and win its 4th straight game tomorrow when it travels to face Guilford. That does it for YCN Sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Thanks so much, Mike. Capital Connections host John O'Connor is talking with Carol Lighthall. She's the executive director of Springfield on the Move. Part 3 of that conversation is coming up when YCN News returns.
The YCN News continues in a moment.